Hey, what's happening, guys, and welcome back to Hearthstone. Last time we did this, I played a mage. We have shaman or warlock, druid or hunter, and beatdown. We are going to change one of these right now. We will change shaman or warlock. Mage or shaman? Oh well. We will go to the arena because we're going to set up an arena run. I promised you guys a friend of mine would help me, but unfortunately that will not be the case. I am sorry. He just will not cooperate with me. So we have warrior, warlock, or hunter. Now I believe I've done all three of these before. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to check. I think I did a druid, but I don't really like warrior too much. So let's try Rexar. Okay, first cards we get are Wild Pyromancer, Pint-Sized Summoner, and Mind Control Tech. Now, what you really want to think about this is, okay, I'm just starting out. I need something with a low mana cost that will help me get rid of my opponent's creatures in the early game. So, in order to find out which ones you want to use, you want to try Mind Control Tech for like later, but I really wouldn't recommend it right now. Pint-Sized Summoner it's a decent card if you have a deck already, like if you have like 20 cards or something like that, and you have lots of monster synergy. But it's still not a very decent card in my opinion, just because it's a 2 mana 2/2. This is a 3 mana 3/3. 3 mana is usually when the mana curve comes into play, I believe. A 3 mana for 3/3 battle cry. It's not something you really want in arena, because if your opponent has more monsters than you, if he has 4 monsters, that means he has control of the board. So that's not something you really want to do. You don't want your opponent to have control of the board. But Wild Pyromancer, while its ability really doesn't come into play with hunters as often as you, it will come into play sometimes, but it won't come into play as often as you think. Now, it's a 2 mana 3/2, and everyone knows what I'm going to say right now. It's a Bloodfin Raptor. Always go for the Bloodfin Raptor. Okay, Cold Light Oracle, joke. Questing Adventurer, not so much in arena, to be honest. That's actually a pretty good card, especially if you can like combo it out later. Twilight Drake, decent if you have a full hand or something like that. Oh, out of these cards, I'd probably say these two are pretty much the same stat-wise. But, Cold Light Oracle, each player draws 2 cards. You never want to give your opponent cards. Twilight Drake, gain 1 health for each card in your hand. If you have a nice big hand, odds are you're either not playing as much cards as you probably should be, or you're just drawing cards constantly with like a warlock. That's actually a good example. If you have a warlock deck, Twilight Drake might be pretty good. Questing Adventure, though, is what I'm going to go with for right now, just because I need a little bit of early game and late game, but still. Okay, Dread Corsair. Unless we actually get a weapon, this thing won't come into play very much. It's a 3/3 for 4. It's not a very good card. If we have a Eagle Horn Bow or something, it'll be a lot less, just because of the fact that I think Eagle Horn Bow has like 4 attack, so it'd be like 1 mana or a 0, I think. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. I'd have to check. Murloc Raider, it's a 2/1 for 1 mana. I really don't like things with 1 health. Neither does Trump either, by the way. Spectral Knight. Decent card all around. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, including your own, but it's a 4/6 for 5. That's a pretty decent card. Pretty decent card to like give taunt with like Beast Mat with like the Defender of Argus. But out of all these cards, the only real pick is Spectral Knight. Okay, we got our first Hunter class card. Explosive Shot. Deal 5 damage to a minion. Deal 2 damage to the adjacent ones. Normally, people nowadays put the big guys on the side, so you can't really get as much out of Explosive Shot as you wish you could. Cold Light Seer, again, it's a joke. Violet Teacher, it's a 3/5 for 4. It's a decent card. I mean, it's decent if you're playing spells a lot. But I believe the only real choice here is the Explosive Shot, because we don't really have that much synergy with spells. And this is technically a spell, so... Okay, another Explosive Shot and a Violet Teacher, as well as a Secret Keeper. We do not have any secrets currently, but if we ever do get secrets, the Secret Keeper will be very handy. Let's see. Out of these cards, though, I had to pick the other Explosive Shot, because Explosive Shot can come in very handy. It's good hard removal. Starving Buzzard. There's the Priestess of Elune. It's restore 4 health to your hero. It's a 5/4 for 6. Other than its battle cry, it's not really a good card. It costs way too much for what it does and what it is. Tracking. It's not a very decent card. I don't really like tracking that much. I mean, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Draw 1, discard the others. I mean, that could really screw you over too. Let's see. Starving Buzzard is always a decent card. Was, back when it was a 2 mana. Or 3 mana, I think. It's giving me crap cards this time. Let's at least get some sort of late game. Priestess of Elune. Okay, Stone Tusk Boar. It's a 1/1 for 1 charge. Instant damage. Okay. Yeah, if you draw it turn 1, you could at least get 1 damage out of it, but... Armani Berserker. 2/3 for 2, and it has Enrage. That's actually kind of decent if you can pull off the Enrage with like a mage's Fireball. Abusive Sergeant, giving minion +2 attack this turn. That's always good, just because like Questing Adventure, suddenly it's a 3/3. Not to mention it's probably a 5/3 if you're playing this right. So I'm going to have to say Abusive Sergeant. Oasis Snapjaw. That's a pretty decent beast, to be honest, because it's a 2/7. If you had like the I think it's the Beastmaster, you can give it 2/2 and give it taunt, which means it's a 4/9 with taunt. That's pretty big, to be honest. That's what this thing is. It's got the keyword big. The Stormpike Commando, 4/2 for 5, deal 2 damage. Pretty good for soft removal. Haunted Creeper. I will have to say that I would pick this card because it is a 1/2 for 2 and it summons 2 spiders. So technically you're getting a 3/4 out of this. Okay, this is actually a very hard choice. Either Sludge Belcher or Savannah Highbane. The Savannah Highbane is actually a very good card, as is Sludge Belcher. When they both die, they replace themselves. When Savannah Highbane dies, it's like getting a 10/9, I believe? Yeah, 10/9 for 6. It's very decent. Oh, not decent, that's excellent. Sludge Belcher, it's basically a 4/7 for 5, and it has taunt, and when it dies it summons something else with taunt. That's a pretty decent card. I mean, Sludge Belcher, I'd put it in most of my decks. I mean, sure, I don't have that high of a win ratio, but it's a decent card all around. It's just a decent card. It's Sludge Belcher. Nax card. But I'll have to go with Savannah Highbane for some late game. Wow, what's with these explosive shots, huh? 4 explosive shots in a row. Well, not in a row, but 4 explosive shots in one go. Young Priestess at the end of the turn, give another random friendly minion 1 health. It's a blood imp with some attack. That's all it is, and no stealth. Emperor Cobra. Weaker version of my Exna. But it's guaranteed that something will die if you use it. As long as you use it against somebody, something will die. Whether it's a Core Hound, or an Oasis Snapjaw, or I don't know. There's a lot of big cards out there that this thing could just take out just because it's an Emperor Cobra. Explosive Shot, again, for 5 mana you deal 5 damage plus 2 to adjacent ones. It's very decent, but I'm going to have to go with the Emperor Cobra just because of its ability. And it's a 2/3. I mean, it's pretty decent for a 3 mana. Injured Blade Master. The card that I really do not like. He deals 4 damage to himself, making him a 4/3 for 3 mana. If he didn't have that, he'd be an excellent card. But I guess that's too excellent for them. Okay, we've got 2 explosive shots. That's not really enough to use Violet Teacher with. Wild Pyromancer, however, is, again, it's a very decent card. It's a 3/2 for 2 mana, and its ability for if we use Explosive Shot. But it's all minions, including itself, which means it only survives 2 turns. But it's still a decent card. Oh, the Wisp. The only real choice here is the Web Spinner because it adds a random beast card to your hand. Now that could be another Web Spinner. It could also be like, I don't know, not Spectral Spider. I think that might be the worst one you could actually get is another Web Spinner. But again, Web Spinner is the only choice here, just because of its ability. It's not one from your deck. It's just a random beast card. Bloodsail Raider, Spellbreaker, Priestess of Elune. Bloodsail Raider, it's a 2/3 for a 2. Gain attack equal to the attack of your weapon. Again, we don't have a weapon to verify it to validate its use in this deck currently. Spellbreaker, 4/3 for 4, silence a minion. That's very decent. It's pretty much the only neutral card besides Ironbeak Owl that has a silence. Priestess of Elune, we've already got one in here. It wasn't my it wasn't my choice then. It's not my choice now. I have to say Spellbreaker because of its silence. Hunter's Mark. You always take the Hunter's Mark. It is a excellent card. You always want to take the Hunter's Mark when you are a hunter. Argent Squire, Darkscale Healer, Murloc Raider. I'd have to say Darkscale Healer because it heals everybody on your side of the field, including you. It's a very decent 5 mana, 4 or 5 for 5, plus it restores its health. It restores everyone's health. I mean, it's decent overall. And that also means even if you're facing another hunter with, like, Snipe, it'll still let its battle cry off, even though it'll die. I mean, you spent 5 mana to restore everyone's health. Depending on how many people you have, that's actually pretty good. But, again, that also would have triggered his trap. It'll also trigger his secret, which is actually beneficial to you in the long run. But anyway, Darkscale Healer, decent card all around. I will pick it. Another Darkscale Healer. Okay, Tundra Rhino. Very good card if you have lots of beast synergy. We have Web Spinner, Haunted Creeper, Emperor Cobra, and that's it. Oh no, and Savannah Highmane. But it also gives it self-charge too, I believe. Deadly Shot, damn good card for 3 mana. Destroy a random enemy minion though. There's that word, random. I don't like that word. I mean, you pretty much have to really hope that you get what you want. For this, I believe I'll pick Tundra Rhino just because it's a 2/5 for 5, and it will have charge when it comes out, and every beast you play has charge. Plus, it paints a target on its back that makes it a soft taunt. That's what my roommate calls it, a soft taunt. Oh, you always want to pick the Flare. It helps you draw a card, destroys enemy secrets, and all minions lose stealth. That's a good card either way, because you're only spending 1 mana to draw a card. That's excellent. Arcane Golem. Charge, give your opponent a mana crystal. Charge, Battlecry, give your opponent a mana crystal. I don't like that very much. It's like a last-ditch card. Wild Pyromancer, again, it's a very good card, but I'm going to have to say I'll go for the Flare. There's that Deadly Shot again. Boulder Fist Ogre, it ain't Ogre till it's Ogre. Novice Engineer. That's a very decent card. Drawing a card is just godly in Arena. I might have to say that Novice Engineer would win out in this. But again, like, comment, subscribe if you think it's not Ogre till it's Ogre. Okay, we get our first secret, Freezing Trap. Now, for Scavenging Hyena, we have Savannah Highmane, Tundra Rhino, Emperor Cobra, Haunted Creeper, and Web Spinner. Not to mention any card that Web Spinner brings out. That might actually be enough to make me put this higher up on this pick right now. Fen Creeper is a very decent card. It's a taunt, 3/6 for 5 mana. It's not really good enough for me to rate it very highly in this pick, though. Freezing Trap. When an enemy attacks, return it to its owner, and it costs 2 more. That can really bite somebody in the ass if they're using like a 10 mana creature or something. I don't know. It just can really screw somebody over on their combo if you use Freezing Trap. But I think I'm going to go for the Scavenging Hyena. Well, this will probably come to bite me as well. Okay, our first epics. Gladiator Longbow. That is perfect. Your hero is immune while attacking. That is an excellent thing. If I would have known this was being picked a while back, I might have picked some of them pirates, but oh well. Doomsayer. At the start of your turn, destroy all minions. This is a last-ditch card. Echoing Ooze. This is a card that if you boost it, if you really, really boost it, you can actually make a very, very sick combo. Because Battlecry is summon an exact copy of this minion at the end of the turn. That means if you boosted it with the, I don't know, what was it called? Well, if you use a priest and you boost it pretty highly and you give it taunt, at the end of your turn, it summons an exact copy of it. So in other words, it will have all those boosts. It will have that taunt. Echoing Ooze is an awesome card if you know how to beef it up at the time. You can make it a very dangerous threat just by itself, but then it summons an exact copy of itself, making it really fucking powerful. Gladiator's Longbow, Heroes immune while attacking, that's pretty good. We don't really have anything in here, though, that can beef up the Echoing Ooze. That's the problem. We have Abusive Sergeant. I don't believe that 2 attack will remain at the end of the turn for the Echoing Ooze to actually proc off it, to use it as the boost. But we don't have anything to really boost the Echoing Ooze, so it's just a 1/2 for 2. Technically a 2/4 for 2. But again, it's not really a good card. Now, I will pick the Gladiator's Longbow. The Secret Keeper, the Azure Drake, or the Sludge Belcher. Secret Keeper, we didn't pick the Freezing Trap, so it's not really a good card to pick at the moment. Azure Drake, that spell damage could come in handy pretty easily with the Explosive Shot, not to mention its Battle Cry is very decent. Explosive Shot would go from dealing 5/2 to dealing 6/3. That's That could mean the difference between winning and losing. But it also has that ability, Battle Cry, draw a card, that is just godly in Arena. I cannot stress that enough. Drawing cards is epic in Arena. You want to get your bigger creatures out. You want to end the game as soon as possible. Sludge Belcher. It's a very decent card by itself. 3/5 for 5. Taunt, and when it dies, it brings something back. It replaces itself with another taunt. That is another thing that is godly in Arena. If it dies and it brings something back, Savannah Highmane, Sludge Belcher, Haunted Creeper, if it dies and something replaces it, even if it's just one thing, you want to keep your edge. Even if it's only a 1/2 or a 1/1 or 2/2s, as long as you have more minions out, it should help you win the game. Anything that replaces itself is a godly card in Arena. So we've got 2 godly cards here. We have the Azure Drake, which draws a card, replaces itself in your hand. Sludge Belcher summons, when it dies, it summons a slime to replace itself with taunt, which means it has to get through your opponent has to get through two minions with taunt. Now, a 1/2 might not sound very big, but it's still a very good card. But this is actually a very hard choice for me. But I will probably, at the end of the day, go with the Azure Drake. Okay, Murloc Tidehunter. That's a decent card. Even though it's a 1 health, and I said I hate 1 healths. It's a very decent card because of the fact that Murloc Tidehunter summons something with it when it comes out. You're basically getting a 3/2. You're getting a Bloodfen Raptor for 2 mana, just like it would be. Bloodfen Raptor's 2 mana. Murloc Tidehunter, 2 mana. They're both 3/2s technically. Abusive Sergeant. We have one of those. It's a very good card. Gives a minion 2 attack this turn, and it's only 1 mana. And it's a 2/1. Yes, it has 1 health, and I've said that I hate 1 health creatures, but its Battle Cry makes up for it. Between these 2, I will probably pick Abusive Sergeant because I need more early game. Always go for the Hunter's Mark. I've said it many times. Bloodsail Raider. That might actually... It's a 2 mana, which means if I'm at turn 9, I can throw out the Gladiator's Longbow and then and it will suddenly be a 7/3. That makes it a big target. Makes the opponent want to get rid of it instead of trying to focus on me, which is a very good thing that you want. Kobold Geomancer, 2/2 for 2. Decent. Not really. Stormwind Knight, 2/5 for 4, charge. Instant 2 damage, plus it has 5 health. That's actually very decent stats, to be honest, because I mean, it might actually get in a few blows before it goes itself. Out of these, I'd probably have to pick the Stormwind Knight, though. Just because, I mean, Bloodsail Raider and Kobold Geomancer. Bloodsail Raider, actually, you know what? I think I might pick Bloodsail Raider, just because of the Gladiator's Longbow. It actually has something that it could proc with. Animal Companion. Always pick the Animal Companion. Dragonling Mechanic is a good card. Just because it's a 2/4 for 4, don't let the stats fool you. It also summons a Dragonling. It's technically a 4/5 for 4 mana. So technically it makes up for it with its Dragonling. Direwolf Alpha. That actually makes the Animal Companion a bit of a harder pick, because Direwolf Alpha can give its adjacent minions 1 attack, plus it's a beast. I mean, literally, it says beast right there. And it can proc off of the Tundra Rhino that we have. We currently don't have anything that can boost them, like the Houndmaster. That's what it was, the Houndmaster. Sorry for those that I said Beastmaster before. But Animal Companion it shall be, because it can summon 3 different people: Hogger, Leok, or Misha. Stranglethorn Tiger, again, very good card. So Shattered Sun Cleric, very good card. Starving Buzzard, they nerfed it. That's why it's a 5 mana now instead of a 2 or 3 mana. It used to be a very good card. Decks used to run off of Starving Buzzard, along with other beast synergy. But to be completely honest, I probably have to pick the Shattered Sun. We have lots of beasts in this deck so far. Or no, yeah. We can't have too many beasts because of Scavenging Hyena. The more beasts that die, the better it is for us. So we'll pick Stranglethorn Tiger. Okay. Organ Infiltrator, not a bad card. It's guaranteed to do 2 damage. Unless, of course, you have like a Wild Pyromancer go after you. That's actually pretty bad. But it's actually a very good card, to be honest. Flesh-Eating Ghoul, another good card. Whenever a minion dies, gain 1 attack. That includes your opponent's minions. It says a minion, not your minion or your opponent's minions. Harvest Golem. Again, Flesh-Eating Ghoul is another good card because of like Harvest Golem, Savannah Highmane. Damn it, what were those other cards? Haunted Creeper, Web Spinner, anything that replaces itself. Flesh-Eating Ghoul is a very good card because because once Harvest Golem or Haunted Creeper or Savannah Highmane dies, it gains that. Plus, you can still have the other creature die, which will beef up the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Its ability makes it a soft taunt. It makes it a very soft taunt. So, Harvest Golem or Flesh-Eating Ghoul, they're both 3 mana 2/3s. Technically, Harvest Golem is a 4/4. But Flesh-Eating Ghoul can also get big pretty quick if you know how to use it. Problem is, anything that dies in my deck will boost this thing up, but it's a 3 health. A Bloodfin Raptor could take care of this thing even if it's a 10-3. Suddenly I just lost a big card like that to a Bloodfin Raptor which costs 2 mana compared to this one which costs 3. That's like a horrible trade for me. Harvest Golem replaces itself in battle. Very good card. I will probably pick the Harvest Golem. Okay, we got 3 cards left. We gotta make this count. Houndmaster, very good card. It will really help in this deck. Multi-Shot, another very good card. If your opponent only has 2 creatures, guess what? They're gone. Usually, not all the time. Plus, our Azure Drake boosts that to 4 damage to two enemy minions. That's pretty decent, to be honest. The Houndmaster is going to be my pick, though, because it has a lot of synergy in this. Okay. More rares. Mana Addict. Whenever you cast a spell, gain 2 attack this turn. Not very good. To be honest, this is not a very good card. Light Warden. Another not very good card. Knife Juggler. Decent card. It's again, 3/2 for 2. What do I say, everybody? That's right, Bloodfin Raptor. Plus, as you summon creatures, it deals 1 damage to a random enemy. Very good ability. Because it's random enemy and not just a random minion. Because it will also damage the opponent's hero. It's a very good card in a deck full of creatures. Look, we got Web Spinner, Abusive Sergeant, Bloodsail Raider, Haunted Creeper, Novice Engineer, Scavenger Hyena, 2 Wild Pyromancers, Animal Companion, I believe it also procs off of, Emperor Cobra, Harvest Golem, Questing Adventurer, Houndmaster, Spellbreaker, Azure Drake, Darkscale Healer, Spectral Knight, Stranglethorn Tiger, Tundra Rhino, Priestess of Elune, Savannah Highmane. It procs off of everything. It is the perfect card for this deck. Eagle Hornbow, that would be a very good card if we had secrets. Ancient Mage, it's not a very good card. Secret Keeper isn't a very good card either. Eagle Hornbow is less good in this deck because we don't have secrets. That's another thing about Eagle Horn Bow. You can't really count on getting secrets in Arena to use it. So, Secret Keeper, no. Eagle Horn Bow, no. Ancient Mage is in. This will be our last card. I didn't get a legendary this time, but oh well. The Ancient Mage will probably help out if we get our big cards like Savannah Highmane or the Priestess of Elune out. I mean, yeah, I don't have big cards really, but if the Ancient Mage comes out and it hits like our good cards like our Tundra Rhino or our Stranglethorn Tiger, which we can keep stealthed, by the way. We can keep Stranglethorn Tiger stealthed with the spell damage and it will still come into play. That's actually pretty good. If we have the Stranglethorn Tiger out, though, with the Ancient Mage, or say the Spectral Knight. The Spectral Knight and the Stranglethorn Tiger. Stranglethorn Tiger can't be affected by anything your opponent does. Can be affected by what you do. Spectral Knight can't be affected by what either of you do, except for things that don't target it. Ancient Mage does not specifically target. It just says give adjacent minions spell damage +1, which means the Spectral Knight would get the spell damage +1 and be unable to be targeted by anything else. Now, mind you, that'd be a turn 7 pull. Spectral Knight, Stranglethorn Tiger, then Ancient Mage, yeah, that'd be turn 7. So, I mean, yeah, you'd probably use it on lower end creatures like Haunted Creeper and stuff, but again, with our Azure Drake having spell power +1, spell damage +1, it really does help. Because, like our explosive shots, they would go from, let's say we have the Azure Drake out, 2 minions, it goes to an 8/5. That's hard removal right there. That's awesome. I mean, that's excellent. So, in goes the Ancient Mage, and that is our deck. This mix-matched deck of mostly minions. Oh, I should have picked some of the other things, to be honest, but Flare, Hunter's Mark especially. That's whenever you're in an arena as a hunter, you always pick Hunter's Mark. It's just, you can take something big, make it small. That is like the biggest thing that you can do. Oh, this priest, yeah, he's interfired this Oasis Snapjaw into something nice and big, and he's interfired it. Oh, doesn't that suck? It's now one health. You can't really do anything about that. I mean, suddenly you have this 10-20, let's say it's a 10-20. It's a 10-1. Here, I'll take it out with my web spinner. Save you the trouble. Hunter's Mark is the most dickish card a hunter can have, besides Flare. Flare's always dickish, especially to people who like to use stealth a lot or have a lot of secrets, like mages, I guess. It's pretty much the only one, but still. Anyway, this is actually a decent deck, probably better than the other decks that I've made on Arena. Let's hope we can actually get 3 wins. I'm hoping for 3 wins. Possibly 4. But 3 wins is base. If I make it past 3 wins, awesome. Also, I would like you guys to like, comment, or subscribe if you think that I made a good or bad deck. Please let me know. Please let me know what I should have picked, what I shouldn't have picked. Also, I will be trying to get a better microphone. I promise you guys that I will get rid of this static when I get a new microphone. I do not like this static. I will get rid of it. So, I will see you guys in the next video where we will take on the arena with this hunter deck. Bye everybody, and game on!